Today is Tuesday, September the 13th, 2016, and the liberal media is going into overdrive trying to cover up what happened to Hillary Rodham Clinton just a couple of days ago on September 11th, 2016, during the 9/11 memorial in New York City, right? When she had the fainting episode. They're trying to say it's pneumonia, even though it's probably Parkinson's disease, which, by the way, causes pneumonia, which unfortunately can be fatal. We're talking about somebody that is as old as Hillary Clinton is. She'll be 69 in October, before the actual election. She'll be 69 years old. If she was to become elected, she'll be 70 years old in her first year. Now, I know Trump is about 70 himself. I think he's 70 years old right now. And, either one of them would be, I think, next to the oldest or the oldest presidents ever elected. But Trump is not exhibiting any kind of behavior that have you think that he's in any kind of way medically impaired and will not be able to perform his duties. But with Hillary Clinton, you have all these incidents and the mainstream liberal media is in their back pocket. So they're going into overdrive to try and cancel out whatever she has going on, to try and divert your attention away from her own situation. Now, what they're doing right now, they're still trying to beat that dead horse of David Duke, right? I mean, they're trying to say, because David Duke was in the Klan 40 years ago and he says that he likes Donald Trump, then that means that Trump supporters must be deplorables. They must be the basket of deplorables, or they must fit into that basket of deplorables that Hillary Clinton was talking about. You must be sexist, racist, homophobic, transphobic, all the obics. You must be that because of David Duke, even though there is a KKK active member right now, a guy named Will Quigg. I think that's his name. I'll place his picture on the screen before you and probably an article link in the description box below. Even though this guy says he likes Hillary Clinton and that the Democrat Party started the KKK and that the Democrat Party aligns with their views in the active Klan, I guess that doesn't really matter. People could just bypass that. It's not seen as serious as David Duke, who has not been in the Klan for 40 years because he has a higher platform, and because it's a Republican. Of course, they're KKK. Of course, they're black haters and everything else. Now, what I want to show you right now is it's like some kind of press conference or something like that with Mike Pence. And he is asked a question again about David Duke. Now, I want you to see how he actually handles it. And then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. So go ahead and roll it.
Donald Trump and I have denounced David Duke repeatedly. We have said that we do not want his support, and we do not want the support of people who think like him. And yesterday I was asked a question about that, and I repeated that again. The simple fact is that I'm not in the name-calling business. My colleagues in the House of Representatives know that I believe that civility is essential in a vibrant democracy, and it's just never been my practice. But I'm also not going to validate the language that Hillary Clinton used to describe the American people. Look, we live in a free country, and people of ill motives can associate themselves with politics. I would draw no more conclusion of that man's expressions of support than I would the fact that the father of a terrorist who killed 49 Americans was seen at a Hillary Clinton rally cheering her on and said he was there because she was good on national security.
All right, so you're able to see what happened there. You were able to see how he handled it. Now, before I get into what he actually said and the context of his statement, I just want to say that Mike Pence is a great balance to Donald Trump. Mike Pence always comes across as somebody that is focused. He's not really one to have any kind of emotional outbursts. He's not one to be brash and bold like Trump is. Trump being brash and bold is not a bad thing. It's what has gotten him this far. If it was Mike Pence trying to run against the other guys in the race, I don't think he would have a chance in winning, the nomination, let alone the election against one of Miss Hillary Rodham Clinton with all of her money and everything else she has. So I think Trump doing what he does is a good thing. And he's very intelligent. He's not going to just go out there and do stuff for no reason. Everything is calculated and everything has a purpose. And Mike Pence is somebody that he selected to be that balance, to be somebody that can go out there and say something that is so smooth and it's so succinct and it's so nice that you can't help but to actually agree, right? He's like the everyman. I think that's a perfect choice, but I digress. Now, to get on to what he actually said here, I think it was a perfect answer. Again, he said it, without any kind of, extra stuff on it, nothing wild, just straight to the point. And it made sense. He was like, look, we're not going to give credence to Hillary Clinton's statements because that's what they were trying to do. That's what the liberal media does. They're trying to make him validate the whole deplorables comment by saying, oh, well, David Duke, he must be deplorable. And if he was to agree to that, then he would have to agree that her use of deplorables was not that bad. And it's okay to just go out there and call the American people deplorables, right? So he's not going to do that. He's going to say, well, we're not going to get into the name calling business, but we denounce David Duke. We don't want anything to do with David Duke, but we're not going to sit here and call him names like Hillary Clinton does. I think that was perfectly said. You had Paul Ryan to his left-hand side. I guess it's on the right-hand side. If you're looking at it, watching the video, he was right there. And I could tell by his body language, he was pretty much in agreement with what Mike Pence was saying. And it's not so much about Paul Ryan agreeing or disagreeing. It's a matter of, this is just what you do. This is a professional. This is somebody that is ready for the job to be the VP. When you got guys like Tim Kaine clapping like a circus monkey anytime Hillary Clinton makes some type of stupid joke while she's coughing to death, that does not seem presidential. That does not seem like somebody that I would want to have in the White House or anywhere near the White House Oval Office or anything else. And on top of that, Tim Kaine is corrupt. He had the whole gift gate situation going on in Virginia, where I am, along with Bob McDonnell, who was convicted but was later overturned. And he was the only one that was convicted, by the way, because you had Bob McDonnell, Tim Kaine, and Terry McAuliffe, all of whom were former Virginia governors, and all of whom got trapped up in the whole gift gate scandal. And it was varying degrees of it. It was not just like one thing for all the governors. It was their proximity to Washington, D.C., which enabled them to have more access to corruption. What Bob McDonnell did was on the lowest of the totem pole out of all three. And the other two were liberal. That's Tim Kaine and Terry McAuliffe. And Terry McAuliffe was a rumored VP pick for Hillary Clinton, and Tim Kaine actually got it. Bob McDonnell was a conservative, so they had to make a example out of him to go ahead and convict him, even though the conviction was overturned. But I digress. Point is that I think Mike Pence is a great guy. I think he is a good balance for Donald Trump and what could be seen as a necessity, because some people are not going to like Trump's style. I love Trump's style. He gets straight to the point. He is not going to be PC. He's going to be brash and bold. And he has a pair of cojones, man. And I appreciate that. And somebody that's going to be the leader of our country. I don't want anybody that's going to be like a cuckold, somebody like Tim Kaine, who can't even stand up for himself. And he can't even just object to things that Hillary Clinton is doing that are obviously improper and something's going on with her health. I don't want anybody like that. I want somebody like Mike Pence. Even when he disagrees with Donald Trump, he's not going to just go out there and blindly just agree with whatever he says. He's going to give his point of view, but at the same time, be diplomatic. I think that's a good thing for a VP pick to have. So that's all I got to say about it. Final thoughts on it. I think the liberal media is desperate. They're grasping for straws. They're trying to find anything that can make the opposing side, conservatives, Donald Trump and Mike Pence, look bad. They keep trying to beat the dead horse of David Duke. They keep trying to say he's racist, sexist, homophobic, all the obics. But guess what? You got a lot of guys like myself, a lot of Black Americans, white Americans, Hispanic Americans, all Americans, period, regardless of what color, ethnicity, if you're a recent legal immigrant or whatever you are, it doesn't even matter. If you're an American, you're an American. And that's a lot of Americans that want to vote for Donald Trump, and they don't want Hillary Clinton, sick or no sick. And if she's sick, that's even worse. But I digress. So what do you think? Do you think that this was another attempt at a hit on Donald Trump and Mike Pence from the liberal media? They're trying to make him look bad. They're trying to keep beating that dead horse. They're just trying to keep bringing things up. Or do you think that it's necessary news to have if, you're in a press conference and you're asking questions? Maybe you want to bring up David Duke when there's criticism of what Hillary Clinton is talking about when it comes to people that are sexist, racist, homophobic, and everything else supporting Trump and Pence. Whatever your comments are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.